She was the woman every man wanted, and every woman admired. Her smile could melt hearts. Her presence could stop time. But behind legendary beauty was a woman breaking inside. This is not the story Hollywood told you. This is not the story written on magazine covers. This is the story they tried to bury. The untold story of Marilyn Monroe. Welcome to Celebwood Life, where we reveal the truth behind the glittering masks of fame. Stay with us till the end, because some truths are too powerful to be forgotten. Marilyn Monroe was born as Norma Jeane Mortensen on June 1st, 1926, but her birth came not with celebration, but with silence. There were no flashing cameras, no family gathering to welcome her into the world. She wasn't born into luxury, privilege, or even the warmth of a stable home. Instead, her first breaths were taken in a world filled with uncertainty, abandonment, and quiet pain. Her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, suffered from severe paranoid schizophrenia, a mental illness that would dominate and disrupt their fragile bond. Gladys was in and out of mental institutions, unable to care for her daughter, leaving Norma vulnerable from the very beginning. Her father, a complete mystery. Norma never knew him. She spent much of her life desperately searching for clues, for a face, a name, a truth. But none ever came. The absence of that father figure would haunt her for years, leaving a deep emotional void. With no one to call her own, Norma was passed through foster homes, orphanages, and the care of strangers. Some homes were kind, others far from it. Each move left a scar, each goodbye chipped away at her sense of security.
In her teenage years, Norma Jeane's life began to shift. She started modeling, and it quickly became clear that her beauty was impossible to overlook. She had golden skin that seemed to glow under any light, a smile that could warm even the coldest heart, and eyes that, despite their sparkle, carried an undeniable sadness, hinting at a troubled past she rarely spoke about. It didn't take long for Hollywood to notice, but the industry wasn't looking for Norma Jeane, the shy and complex young woman with dreams and vulnerabilities. They wanted an image, a fantasy that could be sold to the world. To them, Norma Jeane was raw material, waiting to be molded into something larger than life. At the urging of talent scouts and studio executives, she took on a new identity: Marilyn Monroe. Her naturally brown hair was bleached into a striking platinum blonde, a shade that would become her signature. She was taught to speak in a soft, breathy tone, one that seemed both innocent and alluring at the same time. But this transformation went beyond her appearance. The studio rewrote her personality, carefully crafting a public image that would appeal to millions. Behind closed doors, teams of publicists, directors, and male executives shaped how she dressed, spoke, and even behaved in interviews. Marilyn Monroe became a brand, an object of glamour, desire, and perfection. Yet inside, Norma Jeane was still there, trying to hold on to her true self. She longed for deeper roles, meaningful connections, and the freedom to be authentic. But as the years passed, it became harder to separate the woman from the image. The mask of Marilyn was dazzling to the world, but for Norma Jeane it became a prison. By the 1950s, Marilyn Monroe was one of the most recognizable women in the world. Her face was everywhere, plastered across posters, magazine covers, and theater marquees. She dominated the silver screen, starring in box office successes like Some Like It Hot, The 7-Year Itch, and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. To the public, she was the ultimate symbol of beauty, charm, and glamour. People called her a sex symbol, a blonde bombshell, and a dream girl. But behind those glittering labels was a woman fighting battles that the world never saw. Marilyn struggled with severe anxiety, often making it hard for her to arrive on set on time. The tabloids painted her as unreliable or difficult, but in truth, her lateness wasn't diva behavior. It was the weight of panic and self-doubt holding her back. To cope, she began relying on sleeping pills to quiet her mind at night and stimulants to keep her energy up during demanding filming schedules. Hollywood adored her beauty but dismissed her mind. Executives saw her as an image to be exploited, not as a serious actress with ambition and depth. When Marilyn dared to ask for better scripts, more challenging roles, or creative control over her work, she was met with resistance. Some in the industry mocked her behind her back, others spread rumors, and many labeled her as unstable, as if her desire for respect made her problematic. The truth was far simpler and far more human. Marilyn wasn't unstable. She was tired of being treated like an object instead of a person. She wanted to be seen for her intelligence, her artistry, and her humanity. But in an industry built on illusions, being human was the one thing Hollywood didn't want her to be. Searching for love in a loveless world, more than the glitz of Hollywood or the roar of an audience, Marilyn Monroe longed for something far more intimate. Genuine love. Beneath the glamorous gowns and red carpet smiles lived a woman who wanted to be seen, understood, and cherished for who she truly was. Her first marriage was to James Dougherty, a boy she married as a teenager, more for security than romance. When she began her modeling and acting career, the marriage could not withstand the changes, and it quietly dissolved. Her second marriage to Joe DiMaggio, the baseball icon, was filled with passion and admiration. Joe adored Marilyn, but fame cast a shadow over their love. He struggled with the public's constant gaze on her, and their different worlds pulled them apart. Then came Arthur Miller, the celebrated playwright. Marilyn believed Miller would understand her intellect, her insecurities, and her longing to be more than a screen goddess. For a time she felt seen, but even this relationship cracked under the weight of personal struggles, miscarriages, and the relentless pressure of her public life. The heartbreak was compounded by tragedy. Marilyn endured multiple miscarriages, each loss deepening her sense of emptiness. Behind closed doors, she often poured her pain into private writings. Letters, poems, and journal entries that revealed a tender, thoughtful woman searching for connection in a world that seemed incapable of giving it. One line she wrote captured her truth completely. "I want to be loved for who I am, not for what people think I am." But in Hollywood, Marilyn was never just who she was. She was a symbol, a fantasy, an illusion. And the love she craved, real, unconditional love, my boss, always seemed just beyond her reach. Power, secrets, and dangerous affairs. In the early 1960s, Marilyn's life took a darker, more dangerous turn. She was rumored to have had affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy. She was invited to exclusive political parties, whispered to have overheard conversations she was never meant to hear. She kept a diary. She wrote everything down. Names, details, secrets. Some believe that diary cost her everything. On August 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her home. The official cause? A drug overdose. But to this day, questions remain. Why were certain documents missing from her house? Why did her housekeeper change her story multiple times? Why was the first press release sent out before the ambulance even arrived? Many believe she didn't die by accident. She was silenced. Marilyn Monroe's life reminds us that behind every spotlight is a shadow. Behind every icon is a fragile human being, just trying to be understood. If this story touched your heart, help us keep her memory alive. Like this video, share it with someone who only knew the Hollywood version. And subscribe to Celebwood Life for more untold stories from the world of fame, fortune, and forgotten truths. This was the untold story of Marilyn Monroe. Thank you for watching.